Welcome, everybody, to our free 5-day challenge, Understanding Child Support, a comprehensive guide to rights, responsibilities, and legal process. First off, I'm so glad you joined us. Today, we're going to lay the foundation for understanding child support. Why is it important? How it works, and the key elements you need to know. No matter where you are in this process, we're here to break it down for you in a way that makes sense. So let's get started with the basics. Now, when you talk about child support, it's not just about money. Okay, let me say that again. It's not just about money. Money is a tool that is used to purchase and etc. Correct. You may see that differently based on where you at in the process, because if you're being attacked financially and etc. It can be viewed that way. I'm not negating that. I just want to share with you. It's sharing the well-being of the future of your child. Now, both parents play a role in understanding that. The role is vital for creating a fair and supportive environment for your child or children. Okay, so I'm not here to, it's a case by case for each individual. Let's start with that. It is case by case. So we're going to break this down, and hopefully you have an understanding. If you have questions, you can definitely email us at info@e-formen.com. And as well, by sending us your email when you let's say you purchase the book and etc. You have your email information. We'll let you know when we go live, and you can definitely answer questions in that format as well. So let's get right into it. What is child support? Child support is the financial support paid by the non-custodial parent to assist with the care and upbringing of their child. It covers the child's basic needs, includes food, shelter, healthcare, and education. Now, we all have seen how that is taken out of context, where more money is paid to child's mother or girlfriend, or except I'll say child's mother. And it seems unreasonable. I can't weigh in that. I don't know the full circumstance as well. And the lifestyle that's being um, upkept as well. I can't really speak in that unless I have more information. Now, the purpose of child support is to ensure that both parents share the responsibility in providing for the child, regardless of custody arrangements. Help reduce the financial burden on the custodial parent. Now, I have to chime in on this here. Yes, it's about sharing responsibility, and yes, there is attack towards men compared to the mother. However, I stress this to guys. Why can't you take care of the child yourself? In other words, you fight for equal parenting, equal custody, and legal custody, which means you're both split. There is no child support. Let me say that again. If you're both legally responsible and you both have custody, can you have both have custody? Yes. Yes, you can. The court the court is fighting for its interest to be paid in the process. Now you say, well, the court doesn't get paid. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. There are incentives in that. Now, this is not the proper venue to discuss that, but I want you to understand you can't fight for custody for your child. Now, majority of men won't do that. They won't. Why? Because they don't want the responsibility. Some will complain about only having their child once a week, but yet you can fight for custody to where you become the custodial parent. Why can't you become the custodial parent? Why not? Stop giving excuses to what you can't do, but why can't you do it? So it's easy. Some say, well, it's easier said than done. Well, if the court won't let me, blah blah blah, then you got to fight for it. Well, I don't have the money. Then represent yourself. I ain't about to do so. It's not about you anymore. It's about your children. It's about your children. So I'm not attacking you. Don't get that twisted. But I need you to understand. Don't come here with excuses of what you cannot do. When you have made a choice, so you didn't make a decision. You made a choice what not to do. That's just being honest. That's being honest. So we're gonna go into day one. Still continues. Who is responsible for child support? Now, both parents play a financial responsibility, both are responsible for the child. or children. But the non-custodial parent typically pays child support. The non-custodial, the parent who doesn't live in the home. Now, catch that for a second. If you don't live in the home, you got to cover that. So y'all going through and you think she's going to do child support, she's threatening you with child support. Yeah, she has to kick you out the house. That's why she does a PPO. While you're not in the household, now you have to be obligated to take care of her. Now, some women use that wrongly. Yes, they do. We're not here to point fingers, blame this, and this, because it's not going to be in your best interest as a father to have a conversation with us and try to tell us what's going on. Where, hey, you picked her. Not only did you pick her, you decided to, get her pregnant. Yes, a woman makes you a father. Yes, but you also gave her the ammunition to do so. You don't know the full scale of what somebody's capable of doing, or they're using you in the process. So in retrospect, I digress on that part, but understand you made the situation. Now, I'm not going to say you got to deal with it. No, it's going to be the best way you can understand this process of child support. How can it benefit you? How can you really be involved still with your child? That's the key, because you're not in the home anymore. And that's how they get you on child support. You're not in the home. If you're still living in the household, she cannot do child support against you. If the court does that, you can actually sue the court for that, because that is illegal. Y'all both live in the household. You cannot be on child support, because the court's going to ask for key information. Now, if you have a lease and the lease only has her on there, but see, the police can't get involved because it's a civil matter, which means it has to be discussed in court. Now, if you're still dealing with the court aspect with that, is ways you can get around that. Hey, you have to get a good attorney, and that attorney you have to vet that attorney. There are some attorneys who are just going to take your money because they get paid, win or lose. They get paid. There are some individuals who will manipulate you and believe you can do X, Y, Z when in actuality you cannot, depending on what the state says when it comes to your child support. You're going to have to make a decision, not a choice. Either still pay child support or walk away, because there's some women who will make it so unbearable that you have to walk away because to keep your sanity. See, understanding your rights and responsibility as a parent is key to navigating this process. But understand something. If you terminate your rights, the court doesn't care about that. They will still try to collect child support from you. Now, the law says one thing, but the judge also has a discretionary. The way you can fight that, you will have to go to the appeals, and you really have to research it and argue the argument. When I say argue the argument, argue what's in front of you. Don't add nothing to it. Don't bring her in. She's doing this. She's smoking weed, blah, 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 blah. But see, there's no paper trail on that. Even though it is a illegal substance, shoot, the states allow it to be legal. Federal still says it's illegal. So you can't go into a courtroom talking about she's doing this and this, and you're there, but you didn't report it. There's no paper trail. So don't get in the habit of accusing her. Don't do that. Stand on the merit. If she's doing X, Y, Z, it will show. And if she does doing X, Y, Z, and you have legal documentation from a mandated reporter, which is police, doctor, hospital, therapist. It's tricky with therapists depending on what it is. However, those are mandated reporters. Okay. And I want you to understand something. This is a process, gentlemen. There's not no quick fix going to courtroom, boom, boom, bam, you got it. It doesn't happen like that. Can it happen? Yes. The majority, no. No. So in closing for day one, I want to thank you for tuning in to day one. I hope this helped clear up what child support is about and why it's so important. Now, in day two, we'll go more in depth, dive a little bit deeper into how child support amounts are determined. And I'll be here to guide you through step by step. Okay. Now, if you haven't got a chance to get your workbook and your book and workbook, head over to www.e-4 the number 4 men.com and get your materials. And I look forward to talking to you guys. Let's head over to day 2. All right, guys, day 2, understanding child support guidelines. This is very critical. Now, it's all about understanding how child support amounts are determined. This can feel complicated, but I'm here to simplify it for you today. Now, we'll break down the guidelines that influence how much support you might be required to pay or receive. Let's dig in. Now, child support formula. Now, your state will also have at the child support office a breakdown of what they look for, how it's set up, and etc. You can follow through as well. Now, child support formula, most states use a formula to calculate child support, considering factors like both parents' income, the number of children, and the custody arrangements, right? Some states have fixed amounts, others have it's more flexible. Now, let's back up. And here it talks about income. Now, if the mother's not working and you've been supplying the income, you can forget them trying to get something from her. They're all about yours now. And the number of children, because you only get a certain percentage. If you have 2 children of yours, your percentage is a little, not mistaken, it's about half, almost up to half. If it's 3, it's going to be lower because they can't go over 50% of your income. They're not supposed to. Now, I will go into depth more into other videos talking about the child support and the flexible amount that can be done. Now, custody arrangement, yes, when they do 50-50, but remember, you're not in a household. She has the children more. That formula is going to benefit her. That's why I said fight for custody as well. You both have 50-50, which means, keep in mind, remember this. That means you both have physical and legal. That means children stay at both houses. It's not one-sided. That's how they get you if it's both-sided. Now, let's say you have extra days. That's not how it goes. You're still under court's terminology of 50-50, not 50-50 legal and it's joint. Everything is joint together, which means joint physical and joint legal, which means that child support is not going to be enforced like it should be because y'all both are sharing in expenses. The court will try its best not for that to take place. Now, here's why the incentive for them not to do so. Because by you having joint physical and joint legal, her income now has to be brought into play. And if you're paying alimony and child support, that child support is going to go down. It has to go down. You have to fight for that. Don't just settle for what they try to tell you, because if they're trying to tell you what you don't know. They're banking on what you're not studying. And you have to study this. Don't give an excuse. Because if we talk about your favorite car or your favorite football team, you know every single thing in and out about that, but not about this here. That affects your pocketbook directly. Or they're trying to garnish your wages. Yes, we're going to talk about the garnishment as well. And there's ways you can get around child support. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And it's legal. Did I stutter? It is legal. But if you're working for somebody, what the court is going to do is send a letter to that employer to garnish your wages a certain percent that's set aside. Yes, that is true. But that's another video, and we'll go into depth about that a little later. So what I want to do is break down these guidelines for you guys. Now let's say the child support amount is designed to be fair and reasonable based on both parents' situation. It's not meant to be a burden. However, some judges are pushing that envelope based on the incentives that they get on the back end. Now, but a way to ensure that the child or children are well cared for. Knowing how these guidelines work can help you. It can be very it can be very calming because you know what cannot be done when you know the guidelines. and you on record talking about the guidelines, right? Knowing how these guidelines work can help you better understand the financial responsibility you're facing. Yes. Factors that include the calculation income are both parents, including wages, self-employment, bonuses, and what, and etc. Now, your overtime will be recalculated. Any money you have access to, they're going to calculate that in. Self-employment. I want you to understand something. They didn't say you had your own business. Self-employment, you don't have a company that's registered. They're not talking about that. If your company is registered and you work for your company, you don't have to take a paycheck from your company. Now watch this. If you have your own company, you can set the minimum salary that your company pays you because you have check stubs and everything verified. It's all legal. That's all legal. So you talk about self-employment, you're getting money these from here and here and here, which makes it taxable income. But if you're getting the pay stub from your employer, your company, remember your company is an employer. That's another video. That's another video. So it's ways you can do this and don't let it burden you and put you down and stuff. And keep in mind, there's a lot of men who take their life on this. There's a high percentage of men who committed suicide, not be able to see their kids, not understanding how the system works. And they're not going to, they don't have to tell you. Don't think, well, I didn't know. And it's not up to the court to tell you. You have to understand and get it yourself. The Bible says in Matthew 7:7, ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find. Knock and the door will be open to you. What are you searching for? How bad you want it? How bad you want that knowledge that's going to help you get you out of this? Remember, you have to make a decision, not a choice. And I want you to look both those words up: decision and choice. It's going to blow your mind. Now, the custody and visitation, the more time a parent spends with the child, the less they may have to pay. The more time a parent spends. So if you guys are joint, don't that knock the hell out of child support? Because y'all both sharing expenses. Let that sink in. The more time a parent spends with the child, the less they may have to pay. Remember, it says may. So who ends up getting more time? The most is the mother. It don't see. Keep in mind when you guys, I'll say when people have come to me and I coach them or mentor them with a session. Well, I'm picking up the kids. I'm set. That's not spending time. You're opting to do in. You're opting to assist. See, if it's 50-50, meaning Monday, Sunday through Wednesday, and then y'all switch on Wednesday, then Wednesday through Saturday, that's equal time. Court ain't gonna do that. Court's not going to favor. They need you on child support to make the money. Am I here to disrupt the business model? No, I'm here for you to understand which model you want to be a part of, theirs or your own. You have to make a decision on that. Now, the healthcare, child-related expenses, if the child has special needs or if medical costs are high, that can influence the amount too. Yes, if the child is on state aid, yes. Now, you can also put in a letter to the court stating that you have other obligations, but the letter has to be I can't. Oh my God, forgive me. Dang it, man! I do apologize. When it come back to me, I'll throw it in there. However, you can put into the court about your finances being at a low and etc., but it has to be signed by the notary that make it legal. A notary makes your paperwork a legal document. If you wrote it down on the court and give it to the court, it tells the court doesn't have to take that in consideration because it's not backed by anything. The legal notary, remember that. Okay? When you send stuff and you want to go to the court or go to the child's mother, you do it that way. It is going to be documented and on the record. It supersedes what you say because now it's backed by what you say. Remember, the court takes in facts, but the facts have to be what? Technically notarized. Back in the day, your word was bond. Not they don't use that now. You want a notary to back your words. Okay. So when you look at that cost, if the child is getting child support, getting food assistance and medical, that plays in the role of your that child support amount. It does. Now, deviations from the guidelines. And please understand, courts may adjust the standard amount based on special circumstances, like the child needs, a high income earner, or parental agreements. Okay, I'm gonna break all three of those down. We know special circumstances the child needs. Let's say the child has a medical condition. That's automatic. If the child has, the medical is backed up. Remember, the medical is backed by a mandated what? Reporter to the court. So that mandated reporter to the court has to have legal documentation that's going to be sent to DHS, wherever your state is, and etc. Because now the court has to be made aware of that. Because the court just can't try to come after you and these needs. You can leverage that. Okay, if you're a high earner, NFL player, basketball player, or someone who has a high employment position, doctor, lawyer, you're making over the 10%. 10% is over 175,000 earner. That's a high earner. They're going to now look at how they can maximize that. Now here's how you can also get your child support taken off. The parental agreements is a contract between you and the parent that is notarized. It stops it automatically. Now she may not get child support assistance because they want to make money off of you. It's a business. Is it personal? It can be, but it's technically business. You look at that as business and handle your business by understanding it, you would look at it totally different. No, so the parental agreement is on the form. It's the bottom part of the form that states mom and dad has agreed upon this, and this, and you write out what you agreed upon. And the court and I'm not mistaken on the form, you got to get it notarized. That kills child support. Now, if she's already in child support and you set up the arrangement, etc., it's up to her to what? Cancel the order. Now, the judge may say, well, we'll revisit this, blah, blah, blah. She has to say, no, Your Honor, this is being terminated today. Is that what you want to do? Yes, Your Honor. Has anyone persuaded you, blah, blah, blah? All that's going to come in. No, they have not. This is the agreement between the father and I, and it's the best interest of the child. I need this to be stopped immediately. No more garnishments whatsoever. It stops. She can break it. Now, if the child turns 18, you have to talk to the child because the mother's no longer over the account. It goes to the child. Remember, parental agreements. We'll do a video on that. So I know it's getting a little late. I want to wrap this up. I know it might seem like a little overwhelming. Trust me, it's a lot. Think about all the factors that comes into play. But tomorrow we'll go to simplify the process even more and dive into how the child support orders are established. Woo! How they established. All right. I'll see you guys in day 3. All right, guys, here's day 3, establishing child support orders. Man, now that we know how child support amounts are determined, let's focus on how child support orders are established. Whether you're paying or receiving, you're the receiving parent, understand this process can help you take control of the situation. Remember what I said? The process can help you take control. Let's break it down. All right. Now, filing for child support may feel intimidating, but it's not important. Well, let me take that back. It's an important step in making sure your child has the resources they need. And remember, you have the right to understand the process. Challenge the order if needed and seek fairness. Now, let me give you an example. 50 Cent put himself on child support. By doing so, it automatically got lowered because he was already overpaying her. See, you have a good lawyer squad, you have a good team with you, they'll break that down. Now, you can come into a good team. Don't think you can't. Don't sit up and tell what you can't do. You control life and death through your tongue. What you say, what you can't, I ain't got, I don't have. I don't have nobody to talk to you. Well, you won't. You keep saying what you ain't gonna have. Don't worry about, today is Tuesday. Don't worry about what's happening on Friday or what can take place on Friday. Deal with Tuesday. Because Wednesday got his own needs and wants. Thursday got his own needs and wants. Okay? Now let's break this down. Filing for child support. Now, I'm not saying that you guys can, but understand if you need to. Don't let daddy tell me that you need to file, but you got to make sure that you're covering your behind and make sure this XYZ is being done. Okay? It's still a good strategy. Now, the custodial parent usually initiates the process for filing for child support through the state or local child support agency. The custodial means the parent who has the child at the home. Okay? So, guys, if you're in that house, don't leave that house yet. She can't put you on child support. You're still living in the house. Okay? Now, the non-custodial parent can also file a motion for support modifications if needed. Now, keep in mind, when it says support modification, that non-custodial parent did not file first. The custodial parent did. So when the custodial parent files first, you're getting to, now what you're doing, you're going to respond, and it's the support modification. It's going to be what? Modified. That's a big difference. Don't think the custodial parent, they file. It says file a motion to support modifications. That is a response motion. Okay? Court involvement. Court involvement. In most cases, the court will issue the child support order after receiving both parents' financial information and the child's needs. Now, have you noticed one thing that's not on here? Or do you see it? Okay, let's say it one more time. Do you see what's on here? Now, keep in mind, they want all this information first, right? Okay. The judge will review the guidelines and decide on the final amount based on the evidence presented. So they want all that up front first. Okay? The most important thing on here, that's why I got them labeled 1, 1, and 1. Because they're all separate. Parental. No, I'll break it down like this. Paternity and child support. In cases where paternity is in question, a DNA test must be required before the child support order can be established. Now, fellas, if you're in the process of being father to be, get that DNA test done at the hospital. The hospital will ask you, do you want a DNA test? It's free. It's free. Some states are allowing her to what? Apply for child support while she's pregnant. And they'll get a DNA later on. Probably I think in the second trimester they can get a DNA. But she wants to put you on child support right then and there. Some states are allowing it. We'll have videos supporting that and how to protect yourself. Now, this is a safe space. This is not here to say, hey, you put it in, you got to deal with what come out. We're not talking to you like that. I want to talk to the fathers who believe and want to be fathers. This is what you're going to face with women who don't want to meet you halfway. Let's say infidelity took place. Something took place to where you guys are not together no more. And she may be bitter at you. She may try to destroy, she's trying to destroy your character if that is the case. Remember, it's case by case. But I'm going to speak to the ones who are going through that part first. Hopefully, this will teach you to vet the woman that you're going to be with. They say, well, I didn't know that it's always signs. If you choose to ignore the signs, that's on you. But the sign is always there. Give example. When you're driving in your car tell you that you need oil. If you choose to not keep ignoring the sign, what's going to happen? It's going to be a clanking. It's going to get louder. Then all of a sudden, you bust the gasket. Or you caught it in time. You got a blessing. You caught it in time, and boom, now you got the oil in there, and it just stopped. Smooth sailing, just stopped. Okay. So it's always going to be signs, and there's a monitor that tell you. You got to read it. If it's an older vehicle, you got to pay attention to an older vehicle. vehicle. I'm not saying she's an old woman got to pay attention to. I'm not saying that. But there is signs between when your mate. And then two, fellas, we also have further down the line here, we're going to have relationship building to move on. How to select the next mate. What do you need to have in play before you select a new mate? And then fellas too, well, court, the judges look at as well. You can easily jump into a new relationship. The court holds that against you. Oh yes, they hold that against you. Don't get it twisted. You up here living with another woman and her kids, you taking care of her kids, they gonna hit you with child support harder. Because you don't realize the home is broken up. You're trying to build it with somebody else and not take care of your seed. And the majority of judges are what? Married. So they're looking at you based on what you're breaking up. Okay, you got to keep that in consideration, how you're being viewed. Now, in the case where paternity is in question, the DNA test will be required before the child support is ordered. Yes, once maternity is established, the non-custodial parent is required. Once it's established, which means that you are the father, it goes into play now. Whatever the judge decides to be the reasonable amount, in which you can also contest that. You can't contest it. This don't settle where you're paying $400 a month. I'm not making $400 a month. And based on the criteria, this, and this, it should be at this amount. Why are you making it that amount for? You can ask to speak to the judge, and we have a video on that as well. How to represent yourself in court. How you can talk to the judge. Yes. If you got back child support, how can you navigate that? Yes. It's not difficult to do. Stand on what you know. See, stand on what you know. Now, your lawyer can have a lawyer speak for you, but keep in mind, you have to understand something. The reason how some people can have good lawyers, they're paying for the network of the lawyer. You're paying if the lawyer has a good relationship with that judge. Yes, you are paying for that network. It may be higher amount to secure that lawyer. Yes, why? Because you're paying for the experience, you're paying for the network and the relationship. Yes, you are. So, in closing from that, I want you guys to understand something. When you get the book, the book will help you. The child support book. Go to www.e-4men.com. Get the book and workbook. I'm telling you, it's going to make a difference how you view this. It's going to make a difference. Okay. Do not feel as though that what I'm sharing with you is the big elephant in the room. You don't know how to eat it. Yes, you do. You will. I'll say that one piece at a time. All right. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna close out day 3. I'm gonna go right into day 4 because it's tied together. All right. Take a little quick seconds here, and I'm gonna get the information. I'm gonna go dump into day 4. All right, guys. Day 4 is modifying the child support orders. Okay. Now we're tackling modifications. Life happens. Circumstances change. It's so important for you to know when and how child support can be modified. Where if you're the payer or the payee, understanding the options is crucial. It's crucial. Let's dive in. Now, when can child support be modified? Change in income. If either parent experiences a significant change in income, they may seek a modification. Now, let's go back to when COVID hit. At first, the judges was not modifying child support. They was not trying to modify it until it really kicked in, and the judges had to, because the majority of the nation was not working. Some was working from home, but remember, it had child support loss, I'm not mistaken, up to $2.5 billion in child support. So that's why the mothers was complaining, who's going to feed my kids, who's going to do this, this, and this, because that child support father wasn't working. And the first check that they cut, they took it. They took it and immediately gave it to the kids. But remember, the second modification, you got paid. Some may not, but the majority had gotten paid. It is case by case, but some of the fathers got paid. Okay, that check was cut to you. Because remember, it has to be fair. It has to be fair. Now, changes in custody. A change in the custodial arrangement may lead to adjustments in the support amount. Yes, it will. Ain't no may, it will. Let's say um, you're a child's mother, or the child's mother. She ended up getting sick, or she got something took place, medical, etc., and you take care of the child past 30 days. That's a significant change in income. It goes past 30 days. Not immediately put it in because you don't know. See, like once you got that 30-day pass, because that's usually a what? Cycle. A 30-day what? Cycle. The court operates in cycles. Not in 2 days, not in 3 days. It has to be a cycle. Because remember, your pay period is in a cycle. Pay period is not in 2 days. Unless you're getting stuff, that's a different conversation. But however, that's a significant change. Now, the other significant life changes, special needs for the child or unexpected medical expenses can prompt a modification. Car accident, yourself, or etc. And it's documented, and you see the result that this person can't work. They have to change it. They have to change it. And depending on what took place, it could significantly impact the child. Because if you can't work and you're the provider for the child and you're down, they got to make that. They have to make that, and she's have to force to find other means. Now, if you got insurance, your insurance kick in, etc., they will try to pull that child support out of that insurance as well. Why? You have access to it. It is what it is. Okay. So again, I'm going to still touch on change in income. Significant changes in income may seek a modification. The change in custody arrangement, yes. And then again, the medical needs for the child, significant life changes. All right. Now, how to request a modification. Both parents can request a modification through the court or child support agency by submitting documentation on the change in circumstances, right? Now, watch this. Again, on the form. Remember, in day 3, we talked about what? The parental agreements. The parental agreement stops the child support. It's what you both agreed upon. And the court has the obligation to support it. They'll talk to her, they ain't gonna talk to you. They'll talk to her. But if you both agreed upon it, they have to sign off on it. Now here's your mind. Here's I need you to understand something. Get in the habit of respecting the judge's staff. And I ain't say you gotta kiss nobody behind, but you need to make a good impression on what the clerk. Respect that clerk. Thank the clerk. Thank the deputy in there. Talk to them. Ask how their day is going. Show empathy. Why? You're building a relationship. When you build a relationship, it is showing people what? Show it back. I had a situation where with my ex-wife, and we modified it to split the kids. I would get my son, she would get my daughter. I still had custody, had physical custody. So I reigned supreme with that. However, when things took a turn, I had to go to the court to get that. And what happened? I had an issue with the clerk. She had a nasty attitude towards me. And she was butt ugly. Oh, when I mean butt ugly, her butt was on her face. And she didn't want a pretty butt. However, I can let that persuade me. Because she would get smart and say things to me. Now, there are some women who are going to talk to you men that way. Why? Because they have an issue towards men. They do. Whatever the reason is, it ain't your concern. I'm just telling you, be happy. And if you have to get into somebody behind, you got to do it. But be respectful as much as possible. Because when the judge said to me, well, it seemed like you had a problem with my staff. I said, with all due respect, your staff had a problem with me. That is not appreciated. I am a taxpayer. I respect to be treated with respect, just like you want your staff to be treated with respect. If you look at the camera, she spoke to me with she spoke first with the attitude towards me, Your Honor. That's like me coming in here and you ask me a question, I directly get smart with you. That's unacceptable, regardless, is it not? She said, yes, yes, it is. Yes, I'm very passionate and I am a man with purpose. And I said, a lot of women don't have a strong man that's going to talk to them. Well, we don't need to go down that road. I said, with all due respect, yes, we need to. I expect to be talked to professionally. This is a business matter, not a personal one. See how that's different? So when you're dealing with the staff, respect them. If something takes place, bring it up to the attention to the judge when you get in front of the judge. Because that's and use it as, Your Honor, this is a training moment. Your staff need to be trained on proper etiquette, how to treat the client. I am a client coming into the court for a resolution, not to be belittled and potentially be embarrassed in front of people because this person has an issue with men. That is not proper etiquette, nor that's going to be acceptable under your leadership, because that's a reflecting of you. And you don't want that to be on your record that your staff treats men, especially men in this time, cycle goes different ways. It's not about, bitch, I'm gonna talk to you. You can't. No, you can't do that in the courtroom. You can't. As much as sometimes you need to get that off your chest and let that thrown, can't do it. There's ways you can do it. But don't do it like that. Now, if both parents agree on a modification, listen to this. If both parents agree on the modification, it can be handled without going to court. That's the clerk. The judge has no power until the clerk signs off. The clerk is the one who's in power. And the clerk can talk to the judge. Your Honor, he came in, information, blah, blah, blah. And the court, the clerk has the authority to sign. The clerk has the authority to sign. Some judges give their clerk, remember, the judge has a lot of cases. So in some instances, the clerk views it, gives their, because the judge trusts the clerk. The judge trusts the clerk. So respect that staff. All right? Respect the staff. Now, what happens if you don't modify? If child support isn't modified, one parent may pay more than they can afford if you don't try to modify it. The other parent may not receive enough. Okay? So you can modify it, and let's say you did all that and the judge still didn't want to lower it, you appeal it. Appeal it. The judge is not the final say. If you're showing direct documentation, etc., then what you do is you kick it into mediation. Try to get it into mediation first before you go through the judge. Why? The judge is not really looking at it from a favorable viewpoint. It's clean cut. Next case. Mediation, you take time and they try to work out a solution. You see the difference? Mediate. Patience. Court case. That guy will come down, boom, that's it. Okay? Now, life isn't static. And that's why child support orders can be modified. Whether it's a raise at a job or a job loss or a shift in custody, modification can help ensure the court remains fair and manageable for both sides. You got to put it in. Closed mouth don't get fed, but a shut up mouth will get handled, because now you're not being responsible. All right. Now, hey guys, great job sticking with me through this now. Okay, day 4 is a doozy, and I hope you feel more confident about how and when you can request a modification. Now, day 5, we'll finish up how child support is enforced, and I'll share some final thoughts. All right, head over to day number 5. Let's go. All right, guys, here's day 5, enforcement of child support orders. Now, today we're wrapping up our challenge by talking about enforcement. If you've been having trouble receiving or paying child support, it's important to know the tools available to make sure the order is followed. Let's discuss how child support enforcement works and what your options are. Now, I'm going to share some stories in this. I feel a couple things. I get what it's saying. And you have to remember something. That's the order, but remember, you still have human involvement to where it can be delayed or not even enforced. Please understand what I just said. The order and the policies are perfect. The law is perfect, but now you have human involvement that can derail it, that can slow it up, that not enforce it, and pretty much turn it against you. And that has happened, right? Now, how is child support collected? The first one on there is wage garnishment, a common method where a portion of the non-custodial parent, the parent who's not in the home, wages is automatically deducted. It's only automatically deducted if you have an employer. Please understand what I'm saying. I'm can't be more blunt to you and to the point. If you have an employer, the courts send a order that they set aside a certain amount of your paycheck. All right. Tax refund interception. The government can intercept your tax funds to pay overdue child support. Yes. Yep. They can and they will. Now, other enforcement tools. Your driver's license suspension. A parent loses their driver's license if they fail to pay. That is a tactic that has been used unfairly, because if that's the way for you to get to work, but here's the thing, you got to make sure you're on top of your game. You're paying something. You can't pay them out. You paid something. Okay, don't go in an empty hand and expect to get a full plate. You're paying something. Your Honor, I'm seeking modification. This what took place. Here's your check stubs. Here's what happening in my employment. I have to wait 30 days to show this to you, because you'll see as it affected on the cycle. If I came in 2 days after it's just done, you wouldn't have took it serious, because it can change. It's been 30 days, which means that's two cycles. See what I'm saying? Okay. Now, the tax refund is state, federal, city. Anytime you're filing taxes, remember, you're filing tax. Please understand what I'm about to say. You're filing taxes in the what? Your full name capacity through your social security number. You're not filing it through a business, your own business. I'm gonna let that sink in for a second. Well, if I have my business, yes, because your business has its own EIN number, which is what? Employer identification number. You have a social security number. These are two different things, two different levels. Okay, so hopefully someone to catch that. Now, with the driver's license, that's a foul play there, because you stop them from going to work and it affects their payment. Then next, they'll lock you up. They'll put you in contempt of court. That goes right into the contempt of court. If the non-paying parent refuses to comply with the court order, they may face penalties or jail time. That's why you have to have things documented to show the court what's happening out of 2 cycles. Well, 30 days is a long day. Yeah, 30 days in jail could be even longer. Well, it was 500, man. All I got is 2. Well, damn it, you better pay 50 on there. And then show the court, my gas is this, and this, Your Honor. Order me to maintain, I got to handle this, Your Honor. It hit me for the 2 cycles. That's to let you know, Your Honor, it's serious. It's not no fluke. It can jump back up. No, it's happening in 2 cycles. See how different the conversation is? All right. What to do if you can't pay? Woo! Communication is critical to communicate with the child support office or court if you're unable to make payments. You lose your job, your letter of termination or laid off is suffice. That letter suffice to child support, because that's immediate. If they say no, you request emergency hearing to the court, but you do not want to violate the order to the court. I need time to get back on my feet. I'm requesting the court to suspend for 60 days. Allow me to get on my feet. Whatever days you need. Remember, you got to negotiate and leverage. It's up to you. Nobody else is going to know. It's only you going to know. Negotiate. The goal of enforcement isn't to punish you. I disagree. It is. Because you don't communicate and you be arrogant. You coming into the courtroom expecting this, and this, and you talking back. And I've seen guys do this hundreds of times, more than I could count, and get clobbered. You get in handcuffs, right? Detaining, put it in cuffs. Now, to ensure that the child's needs are met, if you're struggling, know that you can ask for help. Yes, you can. You can adjust your payments. You show substantial evidence that can do that. The court says, well, I'm not going to do 60, I can do 30. No, you're doing 30, you're doing 40. Excuse me? You're doing 40. With all due respect, I'm telling you what the process is. I got to maintain gas. If not, I got to get on the bus. That's going to take time. I'm asking you what I know for a fact could be done. Now, Your Honor, I don't mean to be I'm not being disrespectful. I'm being passionate to let you know I want to take care of my kid and my children. Don't cripple me. I'm not no bum. See how you getting passionate? You want to allow me to speak freely? I don't want to be on the record. I disrespect you. Can I speak freely? They'll say yes. I'm asking for help. I'm coming to you for help. Don't sit up here and look at me as I'm not no weak boy. I ain't no child. I'm a grown man handling my responsibilities. I don't want to be too far behind because this will affect me. But I'm coming to you not on no bending knee. I'm coming to you on business. Let me handle it. See the difference in that? What are you gonna tell you? No? Well, I think I'm gonna do this, and this. If he says no, appeal it. Appeal it. But if you don't fight for it, they're not gonna believe you can fight. That communication is crucial. Now, modification requests if your financial situation has changed significantly. Okay, let's define significantly. Laid off, terminated, medical situation, car accident, you can't work. Those are significant changes. You can request a modification. You can request it. I'm not saying it's going to be approved, but you can request it. It's up to you how do you argue it. Remember, court is about who's the best arguer. Because then the facts are not true. The fact is you fired and I need you go find another job. But the fact is I need time. Because I got to go look for it. I got to go to Michigan Works, whatever it is you got to go to get the job readiness and et cetera, et cetera. You need time to put that into play. And it takes Your Honor, it's a job to find a job. You know as well as I know, I'm a man of my word. I've been here, I've shown up, and I have followed every rule that you have placed upon me. But this hit me differently. I'm asking the court for reasonable time. Reasonable time, Your Honor. You sit up here and you face people who are, they full of mess. I'm not one of them. You a man like I'm a man. You're a woman like I'm a. You about your business, ma'am. I'm about my business. I respect yours. Respect mine. We're not playing. You're not talking to no kid. See how that's different. Let's say she may say, we need to bring your tone down. See, that's the problem. When a man is talking, this is how men talk. I'm sorry you don't have that in your. Woo, don't go there though. You can say, you know what? This is how men talk when they're handling their business. I'm going to be fair with you so you can understand where I'm coming from. If not, let's lock me up now then. I'm not playing no game with you, Your Honor. I need time to get it done. And don't be scared to go to jail. Now you're like, whoa, what you mean? I don't want to go to jail. It's leverage, man. If I can't handle what I need to handle, Your Honor, if I don't meet the deadline for the deadline that needs to be met, let's go. You know what? You're not giving me what I'm requesting. Let's go. Just go to jail right now. Come on. Let's go. Deputy, here we go. Because I'm not about to be under no restraint when I got to get done. I need time. Rome wasn't built in a day. See the difference? You standing on something? See the difference how you talking? Stand on it. You ain't giving no excuse. You're standing on it. But what I can do in the process, by me looking for a job, I can also help her with childcare. When the days I'm finishing everything and she needs something, I'm going to work with her to make sure our child needs are met. I can take a load off a little bit. See the difference? Now you're adding value. See that? It's up to you. It's really up to you. Remember, it has to be a significant change. All right. Well, gentlemen, I thank you for tuning in these 5 days. Now, even though it's on a longer video, I'd rather put it on a longer video so where you can always go back to it. You can pause and come back, pause and come back, right? And congratulations. Now, I will be sending out an email. Once if you guys do the, you purchase the book and ebook, you'll get an email and dates and times we're going to go live and answer more questions. And we will be doing um, a premium offer to where now we're going to work with you step by step with your child support situation, and you can also have group chat, group session to where you can ask questions every week and get more involved. And what's going to be coming, I'm gonna be honest with you, what's going to be coming. I already finished the book. Kid you not, I already finished the book, and this premium offer is for men who want to sit down with a family court judge and prosecutor. Hold it. Let me say that again. You're going to sit down and have a session with a retired family court judge to look at your case. That's going to be coming. So right now, what I want to do is get you guys to understand this. I want to work with you, get you to that point. And now people are at different points now. So I will be dropping that later this month, probably early February, to drop that because I want to see how the response is with the free and everything and see how people are engaging it. However, the reason it's multiple day challenges because people are at different points. However, that case management to where now you're sitting down with a family court judge. I don't care you in Michigan, Ohio, Massachusetts, we're sitting down with judges to look at your case. So now you know what you need to exactly do because you're hearing it from the horse's mouth. How they're going to rule it based on their experience and how you can navigate that. Come on, somebody. We about to dominate this. Fathers, let's get it together. And one of the key things is also in a sense for men is your emotions. You got to put your emotions in check when you go inside the courtroom. It's business, not personal. It can be attacked to you personally, but you got to look at it as business. Once you know what you know, you can navigate through it properly and you can gauge your emotions. When you need to throw it out there and have a conversation with the judge off, Your Honor, can I speak to you freely, please? That's when you let it out. I mean, I understand this legal jargon, but one thing I do understand, Your Honor, I need time to get this done, or Your Honor, I want to help her as much as possible. I'm not here to bash her. We have a neutral children or child or children in place that we need to get this done with. I'm asking for mediation. Get it out of the court. Get it out of the court and go to mediation. Why? Mediation is cheaper. It's based on your income at the time. All right? And you have time to work it out in the court. All right? So it's woo, okay. Now, we talked about the wage guidance, we talked about the tax refund and exception, the driver's license. The contempt of court is non-paying parent refuses to comply. We talked about that. And up to penalties of jail time. Now, what can you do to do if you can't pay? We talked about the communication and the modification. These are key things you got to get under your belt and understand how to navigate this. Now, I will share this with you. When you're going into court, it is something like a chess game. You're not playing checkers for sure. The reason is I say it's going to be chess because the court has to throw it at you and you have a way to respond to it. Yes, you have a way to respond to it because they already wrote out exactly how you can send it back to them with their own words and their own verbiage. But you cannot abuse the court by throwing it up in their face. You have to be calculating and strategic how you present it back to the court. Yes, can you do it? Yes, you can. Can you win? Yes, you can. It's a 50-50 chance. Then do it. Don't just say, well, the court gonna do this and this. You ain't done it yet. Don't be no coward and sit up here and say, well, the court did such and such with Mike. Oh man, I ain't about to. Shut up. Get off your butt. Do the research. It ain't for you, it's for your kids. It's for your children. Don't sit back and be lax. Don't. If you can't see your children, you're fighting the fact you see your children for weeks, months to months to years. Start writing letters. Start writing letters. Get them letters notarized. Why? Because it's the truth and it's legal. You ain't got to send them. This happens when one day one day's gonna happen. You see your children, get all these letters. They're gonna be like, dang, Poppy, oh, Daddy, you, yeah, all that's in play. So it's ways you can, and some of us are dealing with key things that you may not be able to do the letters. Some may be incarcerated, or other things that took place, or she's out of state. Still leave a journal so your children can one day read it. Just don't stand alone. Let them read it. All right. Again, congratulations, guys. I want to thank you for being part of this journey. You're not alone in this process. You're not alone in this process. Get a chance, head over to www.e-4men.com. Check out other 5-day challenges, free 5-day challenges, and get a feeling for all of them, because you're going to be in different points, but technically one do play on the other and one play on the other, because you got to know how to operate. You got to. Parenting time and custody is different than child support, but the enforcement part is in all of it. How do you go about to do so? Emotions for men. How you deal with your emotions. How you go about to navigate and have a peace and calmness within yourself to deal with this. Mental health is on a rise for men. You need to have that underneath your belt. See how it all of this plays a part together. It all plays a part. So again, thank you guys for tuning in. Like I said, we'll if you do decide to purchase the book and ebook, that email will go out to let you know the times and dates that you'll be able to ask questions, or you can drop a line for questions to be answered at info@e-4men.com, and let us know what challenge that you're in, and we'll answer the question accordingly. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I love you guys. Hey, step by step, we are with you. And I mean that.